Are you familiar with Plato's Allegory of the Cave? Well, this is a story that speaks about a group of prisoners that are locked up in a cave. They're shackled and they're sitting down facing a wall, one of the walls of the cave. Now, they've been there, these prisoners have been there since the birth. So this is the world which they know. And behind them, there's like a fire that's burning. And occasionally you have people who aren't the prisoners that have certain cutouts of like animals and different shapes that they wave in front of the fire, and it projects a shadow against the wall. And these prisoners who are facing the wall, this is what they see on a regular basis, right? Whenever those images are portrayed. And this is all that they know. This is all that they ever seen. They've never been outside the cave because, again, they've been there since birth, shackled. So those shadows in which they see are the only images which they see on a regular basis. So, so then one day, one of the prisoners, gets released and has the opportunity to go outside the cave. Of course, initially when they leave, the light, takes them some time to get used to the light that's outside. And once their eyes get accustomed, they start seeing, real images of real things, right? They get a chance to see the animals, the birds, the flowers, the different colors, and everything that exists outside of the world in which they was used to seeing. So once they could get outside, they're seeing everything with all the colors and the vibrance of the world. They go back into the cave and try to explain what they saw to the prisoners that were still there, that never left. And of course, the prisoners that never left the cave, they hear him with all these, these descriptions and images that he's talking about. They think he's crazy, right? Because again, they've never seen anything outside of the shadows in which which they were used to seeing. And, there's a lot of stories and symbolisms that you can get away from, that you can take away from this particular story. But one thing in particular that I want to pretty much emphasize today is that it's important to expand your worldview, right? Oftentimes, many people, they were used to a particular environment, never left that environment, and that environment which they lived in is their reality. And, it's important to expand your worldview, get a chance to travel, read books, go to seminars, talk to different groups of people, so you can get a broader scope of what's going on outside of your immediate environment. And sometimes when you gather this information and you take it back to, certain groups of people, they may not understand or may not grasp what you're trying from what you saw, because that's not their reality. So you can't limit yourself to a small worldview. You have to expand and explore and see what's out there, because the world's a very big place and there's a lot to see. And don't shortchange yourself by keeping a limited view of what's out there and what the world is all about. So have a great day. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.